doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press, and I want to save your ratings, I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a fourth term as President of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official, in fact, I think I have, I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the second time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, it's interesting, when you come back and you do a good job like we did, and you don't care about it so much, but we do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in seriously bad shape. We do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in seriously bad shape.
And that is, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yes, absolutely. A person says to you, I'm selfish, or I'm mean, or I am unkind.
Or I'm crazy.
Or believe them. They know themselves much better than you do.
Mm-hmm.
But no, more often than not, those of us who don't trust life say, don't say a thing like that. You're not really crazy. You're not really unkind. You're not really mean. And as soon as you say that, the person
lets you know
and shows you, I told you. I told you I was unkind. So now why are you angry?
The 2026 midterms are just around the corner, and the president is starting to panic, as are his fellow Republicans, who are facing terrible polls and historical swings in off-year elections. Not to worry, though, the president has a plan, and that plan is to make it really hard for Americans to vote. On February 4th, Trump went on Dan Bongino's podcast and announced that elections needed to be nationalized.
We want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
A few weeks later, a PBS News reporter asked him about a 17-page draft executive order that would do just that.
Are you considering a national emergency around the midterm elections?
Who told you that?
Are you considering a national emergency around the midterm elections?
Who told you that?
Greetings from the east to north to south, and this wicked-ass west. The topic, Trump's plan to be the president in 2028. The questions, why you think Trump will attempt to be the president in 2028? Let's get into it. I am your host. I am the one.
Here's what I think. Here is what I think. Mike Tyson, he had a phrase that he said, everybody have a plan until you get punched in the face. It's the same with this President Donald Trump. Donald Trump has decided he can do anything that he wants to do. Now, the thing that he's saying is, stop me if you can. If you played sports and you receive the play, you're going to run a play regardless. The opponent's plan is to stop you. If your opponent cannot stop you, you continue with the same play. Because you know they can't stop this play. In 2028, Donald Trump plans to be the president. And in his mind, and in the people around him, in their minds, they're saying, stop me if you can. Maya Angelou, she had a cliche or statement that if a person shows you who they are, believe them. And that's a fact. You know, he makes statements like he's going to run for president in 2028. And under no circumstances is he joking. Now, what he's trying to do is get the feel for what the public have to say. You ever notice how people will say certain things and they mean exactly what they're saying, but they say it just to see how people react. And in his mind, he's a great, great, great individual. As a matter of fact, he thinks he's second, third to none. He thinks nobody is even close to him. So his plan is to run for president. And in his mind, he's saying, who can stop me? Now, here's the thing about the American people. The American people want their cell phones, their TV, their Spider-Man, 2, 3, 4, 5. I never seen either or their Marvel movies. These are the things that the American public really wants. They talk about cheeseburgers and apple pies. And the majority of Americans are overweight. But Americans are set in their ways. And I truly don't believe they will ever change. Because Americans don't want discomfort. I mean, allow the electricity to go out for 2 hours, 3 hours. The typical American will lose their minds. They are so used to a certain level of comfort, and they don't want to lose it. Americans don't have a revolutionary mind. They just simply don't. And you know what? Your president, Trump, he knows that. The cabinet knows that. They will put you into a war after a war after a war, knowing that the war is unpopular, but they do it anyway. They will impose these taxes that no one can afford. The typical American is overtaxed. But they'll say, what can we do? Now, the law clearly states you cannot run again. But guess what? We live in a lawless land. We live in a wicked, wicked, wicked ass West. They want to do what they want to do, and they're going to do it. I mean, under no circumstances will he change his plans. Let's go to the next.
Who told you that? Not, there's no such document. Not, that's absurd. Trump didn't disavow it because he knows it's real. In fact, it's been kicking around Republican inboxes for almost a year now. For the past year, the Trump administration has been running an all-fronts campaign to seize control of American elections through executive orders, FBI raids, Justice Department lawsuits against states, the systematic dismantling of election security infrastructure, and a piece of legislation called the SAVE Act that cannot pass but won't quite die. Kind of like the lie about foreign interference in American elections, which can be used to justify just about anything. The Constitution's Elections Clause vests the power to run elections in two separate entities. It says the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations. So the states run their own elections. State legislators set the rules and local officials carry them out. But Congress can override those rules, at least for federal elections, by passing an actual law. Note that the Constitution gives the president exactly zero role in administering or certifying elections. And that was not an oversight by the founders. They just fought a war to liberate themselves from a monarch, and they weren't trying to empower a president to take control of elections and make himself ruler for life.
One thing about the American people, they seem to think that they elect the president every 4 years. You have not elected a president ever. In most Americans' lifetime, have never, ever elected a president. Your president is selected. Why do you think things never change? It's funny, the game that they play on Americans. I'm a Democrat. Oh, yes. I'm a Republican. That really means something. But what you don't understand is they're working for the same people. And you haven't ever elected a president. You ever notice Kamala Harris? She was selected. That was not an election process. It's pretty obvious Biden couldn't run another term because of his health issues. So what they did, they selected Miss Harris. Bernie Sanders, I believe he will have won the Democratic spot. I think that was years ago, But no, they said no, not him. So what they do is select whoever they want in office. And the reason they can do this is because every single person they put in office will pay attention or follow their instructions. That's the reason why they only have a handful of people. Let's suppose you got 6 people. You can control 6 people. Now, if 100 people was running for president, you couldn't control them. So they'll select a handful of people, and they're on the same page. AIPAC pays everybody. You cannot go to the Washington and expect one of those politicians to be untouched. Well, maybe you have 1 or 2, but everybody works for AIPAC. Everybody works for Israel. Everybody is paid off. Everybody is paid off. So people will tell you your vote count. After a while, you wake up. You learn the game. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. After a while, you learn the game. And you realize it doesn't matter who you put in office. So if Trump decides to stay another 4 years, what does it matter? It's going to be the same thing. The president have orders that he must follow. So you could put him in office all day long, but he's following a set of orders. The farmers understand that now. Racism costs a lot of money. You think you was going to put this man in office and he was going to take care of black people. In other words, you thinking he was going to put black people in their place. Racism is costly. We will always be at the bottom. It is what it is until the Most High come and change things. But you got certain people, and I'm talking about the good Christian white man and this woman, that seem to think that President Trump loved them. Little do you know, you are poor. You don't have no money. Let's suppose you make $80,000 a year, $90,000. Some of you guys even make over 100, 120. Some even 200. Now I want you to compare that $200,000 to a bunch of billionaires. Billion with a B. They don't like you either. They consider you broke and poor. Now a person like me may say, oh, wow, you have a lot of money because I'm broke. But to a billionaire, give me a break. Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am the one.